Hey everyone, it's Gamefruitpulp, and welcome back to another Building Toronto Extras video. In today's video, we're going to be answering all the great questions I got in the last video of Building Toronto's Extras. I asked for some questions to do a sort of video like this, and I'm shocked at how many I got, to be honest with you. It's really great, so I'm looking forward to doing this video. For those of you who are new to the channel, Building Toronto's Extras is a series where I just sort of talk about the map, the Building Toronto project, but don't actually showcase any of the builds. I'm actually doing the commentary separate from the video background in this video, so I'm not really sure what's in the background right now. It's either going to be me building or me just flying around, so I hope you enjoy that, whatever it is. And today we're just going to be going through the questions you guys asked in the last video. Be sure to check out the Building Toronto playlist if you haven't already for all the builds that we've done so far on the map. So my plan today is to go over every question. Like I said, I got quite a few, so we're just going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to try and reference every single person who has commented by name, excuse me, by name, so that they get a little bit of recognition as a sign of thanks. So the first person, and there's a theme. Some of the questions are around this, but that is perfectly okay. Fun Cola asks, "Are you going to build the Scotiabank Arena?" The short answer to that is yes. The long answer is it might take a while. For those of you who don't know, and this is going to be a coverall that I might repeat a couple of times throughout this video, but we have to build the Toronto project because we're building on a one-to-one scale. We have to build basically around the exterior of the build. So if you think about the Building Toronto project like a circle, we always have to build out that circle one piece by one piece, making the perimeter of the map bigger piece by piece. If you think of it like a circle, and then you have another small circle a kilometer away, there's no way for us to measure the distance between that first area we're building and the second to have it accurate. So because of that, we need to build sort of in the perimeter of the project all the time. So eventually we will get to Scotiabank Arena. We're actually pretty close. The reason I say eventually rather than yes quite soon is because what is standing in between the current perimeter of the project and the Scotiabank Arena is Union Station and the railway corridor, and that's going to be quite a project. So thank you for the question, Fun Cola, and I hope that is a satisfactory answer for you. The next question is from Nick the Ninja Live. He says, "Will you only be focusing on the GTA or Scarborough and the suburbs?" Thank you for the question. By the GTA, I'm assuming he means downtown Toronto and not all the GTA, because Scarborough is technically part of the GTA, but that's all right. The plan is to just keep building until we don't feel like working on the project anymore. So I suppose if we ever get to the suburbs, we would build them. We haven't really set a deadline or a final date on what we're going to build on the project. So as long as we're all enjoying it, as long as the builders are enjoying the project, I imagine it'll keep going. Whether we move towards Scarborough or west to Etobicoke or north up to North York, we'll decide that when we get there. Speaking personally, I'm more interested in working east than west, just because I think the eastern part of the downtown core is a little bit more interesting than the western part. But again, we'll see how it goes and sort of judge from there. Thank you again for the comment, though. The next comment is from Connor. Connor is a well-known contributor to the channel. He's done a few of my thumbnails, and he's been around the channel for quite a long time. He asks, how has the project changed your life? Do you see it as a hobby or something you need to do? It's a good question. I still see it as a hobby. The interesting thing about this hobby, though, is your hobbies have no incentive to do them other than your enjoyment. And while I still enjoy the Toronto project, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it, I think part of the reason I enjoy it now is because the project has sort of developed some attention, and because of that, it sort of motivates me to keep going, because I don't want to sort of give up on something that is starting to come to fruition in a way. When I started the project, I thought I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I thought, hey, I'll build Toronto on a one-to-one scale. It's something I've done with a few one-off buildings from Toronto and from other cities, and so I'll do a bigger project, and hopefully some people will notice it and think it's kind of cool, and that's sort of what's happened. So I feel like it's not something I feel like I need to do, to answer your question. I still think it is a hobby, but there definitely is that sort of not pressure, but that encouragement from the community that's sort of rallying behind this project that encourages me to get on and build, and really makes me enjoy building all that much more than if I had just been building this in a sort of abyss by myself with no one seeing the project. So thanks again to Connor, and thanks to Connor again for the thumbnails he's made me throughout the year. I really appreciate that. The next question is from Ritachi. He says, you've answered some questions I asked in another video. However, I'm a bit curious how far you've gotten for Union Station and how you might do the tracks. So for Union Station, we have gotten zero progress. We have the bus station done, so I suppose that's something, but that's also closing and moving to the other side of the tracks in a couple years. So who knows what we're going to do with that area. But for the actual train tracks, that's a good question. I've had a plan on what to do for the train track area for quite a while, and it's just about getting enough of the project ready along the rail line to start working on the actual rail line itself. I follow a YouTuber I'm subscribed to a YouTuber, obviously on YouTube, named Crafty Fox, who focuses a lot on vehicles, specifically rail vehicles, and I really like his tutorials on how to build specific trains. He's actually done some Go Transit trains, and I think he's done a Via train and some CN as well. So my plan is to sort of work off of his stuff. I did reach out to him like a couple years ago, asking him if he was willing to help, and he said yes, and then I took too long to get to this part, so I haven't really talked to him since then, so I don't know if he's willing to help still, but if he is, I'm definitely going to have to ask him for help because he's the expert in Minecraft on that kind of stuff. If he doesn't want to help, that's completely understandable, and basically if that's the case, then I'll just work off of the tutorials he's done and sort of base the Toronto area off of those tutorials for both the rail lines and for the trains themselves, and go forward. But it is an area of the map I'm really looking forward to building, just because it's something that'll really bring the city to life, and it's also something that'll be kind of unique to the project in comparison with other large-scale city builds. So I want to thank you again to Ritachi for the comment, and you've commented quite a few times throughout the year, so I appreciate your ongoing support. Nessajin asks, are you Gamefruitpulp? Yes, I am Gamefruitpulp, so that's a great question. Oh, this is an interesting name. GD Cody, sorry if I said that wrong, that's my best attempt, asked me, once you finish the map, will it be up for download? And I actually answered this on the channel or on the video as well, because I thought this was a question that deserved to be answered immediately, because I wasn't sure how long the delay would be between this video and the video asking for the actual questions. And so my response is there's no planned end for the map, as I already mentioned in this video. Once the map is done, once you decide that it's not going to be worked on anymore, I feel like there's a good chance I would put it up for download if it's at a size that is available to be downloaded. Again, if it gets too big, then I don't know. I'm not going to spend 3 weeks uploading the map. But again, like I said, we're not really planning on stopping anytime soon, so hopefully we never get to that point. But if we do, and it's not too big, then yeah, I would be more than happy to share with the community. So thank you for the question, and hopefully we never get there. And the last group of questions is from DriftTube. He asked quite a few really good questions, so I'm going to hope to cover all of them. So his first question is, what is your next building plan to be finished? This was asked before the Fairmont video. So he says, a friend who's a builder told me that you did the Fairmont. What's after that? First of all, the builders should not be sharing what I'm working on because that's supposed to be secret, but that's okay. Fairmont's done now. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. It's been received pretty well so far, and that took a while to build, but I'm happy that that's done. After the Fairmont, I'm planning on working on sort of cleaning up the odds and ends until the end of the year to see how much I can get done of that prior to doing my year in review video that I start every year off for the past couple years that I've done. One of the builders is almost done a pretty substantial high-rise in the building, or in the map, so I'm going to be doing a video on that once the interior is done, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And for the next building that I'm going to be doing, other than fixing up odds and ends and like things like building heights that are inaccurate or finishing interiors that aren't done, the next one after that is probably going to be Scotia Plaza, which is a build that I've said I'm going to be working on soon for like a year. So I'm going to get that done, hopefully sooner rather than later. And I think once I get started, it'll move pretty quickly. But that's that. The next question is, who are all of your builders? Can you name them all, and what are they currently working on? Can you show us? Our two active builders right now are Storm and Ninja. No, I will not show you what they're working on because that's a surprise for an upcoming video. I don't like showcasing builds before they're finished because I think it takes away from the enjoyment of the video when I showcase the completed build. So that answers that question. And I guess I'm going to tie this into, can you name all your former builders? I've had quite a few. Mundane Glue and Starbound have helped out quite a bit. they're still pretty active in the community. We have some other ones that aren't as active anymore. I'm going to try and remember their names. Quinton is one. And we have some other builders that are active still once in a while. And I can't really, their names are kind of hard to pronounce. And their names on Discord are just letters from other languages, so I can't properly credit them. But I just want to say to anyone who's helped on the project, feel free to comment here, and I'll thank you personally, both on YouTube, because I know I have lost touch with some of the builders who've built in the past, and like everyone who has helped is really, whether it's even one build or many builds, it's helped quite a bit keep the project going. So thank you once again to all the builders who have helped out. The next question is, what are buildings that your team absolutely won't be able to do? Right now there's only one. It's the CN Tower, which is unfortunate because it's the most important build in the city. But we're hopeful that once we get there, which will be a while, we'll be able to build it, because there are rumors, and I'm fine with rumors because there was nothing for a while. There are rumors that Minecraft might be looking at increasing the build limit soon. If that's the case, then the CN Tower will be able to be built. The only reason we can't build that is because, as you've probably heard, if you've watched any of my videos, the build limit is at 256 and the CN Tower is at, I believe, 552 or something like that. So that's not possible. So we can't build that one. There are a couple other builds that are above the build limit, and we're just going to build them up to the build limit because they're not egregiously over like the CN Tower is. Let me actually check. So the CN Tower is 553 meters. I was not that far off. 553 meters tall. There's a couple other builds that are currently being built that are going to be way over the build limit at 308 and 299. But those aren't going to be built for a couple years in real life. First Canadian Place, which is actually on the list of things to do and should be done pretty soon, is at 355 meters if you include their antenna. Just the building itself is up to 298, so the plan for that is to build it right up to the build limit, and then if they increase the build limit, then that's good for us. The St. Regis Hotel, which is in half built, is 252 meters tall, and with its antenna, it's over the build limit. And Scotia Plaza, which I'm going to be working on, is too tall. It's 274. The Aura at College Park is too tall. It's 272. And Brookfield Place, the TD Canada Trust Tower, the very first building I ever built on the project, with the spire, is actually over the build limit by a few blocks. So what I have, again, for all those buildings that I just listed, we're going to build up to the build limit, and then if they ever increase the limit, we'll make it the proper height. But that's... and number one bluer is 1 meter too tall, so that's not worth worrying about. But those are the builds, to answer your question, that we're going to have trouble with. Hopefully that's all the builds you have trouble with, and there's nothing else we can't do, but we will see as the future comes. And the next question is, will Pearson Airport or Billy Bishop Airport come first? Billy Bishop Airport would come first because it's closer. Pearson would be, if we ever get to Pearson, I'd be frankly shocked, because it's a long ways away. So if we ever get to an airport, it would be Billy Bishop. Billy Bishop's also far away. To get all the way to Exhibition Place and where Billy Bishop is going to be quite the task, but that's what would come first. And then the Don Valley Parkway or the 404 first. Don Valley would definitely come first because the 404 is way far north, north of the 401, and it's less likely that we get to the 401 than the airport at Pearson, because I just don't want to really build north that much. I'd rather go east-west and build along the lake more. I do want to focus on building towards the east end and to building towards the Don Valley Parkway, because I think that building the Don Valley would be really interesting and something that could help make the project quite cool. And another unique thing about Toronto is that it's really to the north, or to the west, the east, and the south, it's surrounded by sort of nature. South, obviously, you have Lake Ontario. Then in the west, a big chunk of it is High Park. And then in the east, you have the Don Valley. So for me, a success in this project and a place where I'd seriously think about stopping is if we build all the way through to High Park and all the way through to the Don Valley, obviously south to the lake, and then north who knows where that would be. But if you build that whole chunk, that would be maybe, in my opinion, one of the most impressive projects ever to be built. So if to go back to the question of when would you ever stop building and would you make it go for download, if we got to there, I'd consider what we want to do with the future, because the whole downtown core would essentially be done. But like I said, we have a ton of work to do. We've done, I think, 10 or 12 city blocks, and to get to there would probably be around 1,000. So it's good to have goals, but I don't see us getting there anytime soon. But that is all the questions. So I want to thank you. When I thought up this idea, I didn't think that the video would end up being 15 minutes long, but I'm really happy that it is. And I hope that this answered some of your questions about the Building Toronto project. And if you have any more, feel free to leave them, and it's something I can maybe do at the beginning of every video. I can answer any questions on these extra videos especially. And yeah, I just want to, as the year sort of winds down, I just want to thank everyone for their support on the channel, specifically on the Building Toronto project, because it's easy for me to sit down and record an Overwatch video and just give you my comments. It's a lot harder to build something in the Building Toronto project and put a lot of time and effort into it, and to see that you guys appreciate that. Like I said earlier, it does motivate me to keep going. So thank you all for your support. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed, be sure to hit the subscribe button and join our community, and hopefully you'll see more great Building Toronto stuff in the future, as well as some other content. And if you're a returning viewer and you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like on this video and share the channel with some of your friends. I like I said, I appreciate your support, and hopefully it keeps up. But that is everything. Thank you once again for your great questions. This has been Building Toronto's Extras video. My name is Gamefruitpulp, and I will catch you guys all next time. Have a good one.